Hey, it's Dave from Podpage. Wanted to clue you in on a new resource I just found out about. In fact, I want to give a shout out to Rhona from Throw Out the Playbook. She's the one that turned me on to this. And here's the situation. What if you rebrand your show and that involves changing your website? And so most of the time, if this was like you moved from, Main Street to Left Street, you would just put in a change of address. And if any mail came over here, it would get forwarded over here. And that is somewhat the same on the internet. So I'll give you an example. I had yourpodcastwebsite.com and I changed it when I joined Podpage to Podcast Website Tips. It's a show a lot about Podpage and podcasting and websites. Check it out, podcastwebsitetips.com. And I could go, hey, anything that comes to your podcast website, redirect to podcast website tips. And you think you're done. You're not, because there's this thing called the path. And what that is sure, if anything comes to this domain, forward it to this. But let's say I interviewed Brendan Mulligan, founder of Podpage. Well, then I might have your podcastwebsite.com/Brendan-Mulligan-interview, right? That's the path. And when Brendan and I looked into this a while ago, the only domain company we saw that would do a forwarding with the path, the only company we saw was Google Domains, which has been purchased by Squarespace. And you kind of want that path following, because without it, if somebody goes to the old website, yourpodcastwebsite.com/Brendan-Mulligan, you get the idea. You're just going to get a 404 error. And that's not good for SEO. And it's not good for your visitor. And so Rhona told me about this place, and this is the real domain, Redirect.Pizza. .pizza? .pizza. Didn't know that was a thing. But let me show you. If you go over and I set up a redirect, and I said, hey, anything that goes to your podcast website with a www or not, please redirect it to podcastwebsitetips.com. And all you have to do is go to your domain. So in my case, I was using Namecheap, and I went over and I went to the domain and said advanced DNS. I deleted whatever was here and added this one record, which they show you down here. Here's what you put in here. Did that. Now, with any domain, of course, it can take 20 minutes to 20 hours to update the domain. So be patient. But I just tested it and it works. And so this will also work. There's an option when you set this up to go follow the path. So the old one, yourpodcastwebsites.com/Brendan-Mulligan, etc., is now going to be podcastwebsitetips.com/Brendan- whatever. So it follows the path so you don't lose those links. The beauty of it, it's free. Now, what's interesting is they do have a paid plan, and it will show you how many people went to the old site. So if you need that kind of information, you can upgrade. It's less than $20 a month. And of course, they have monthly and yearly plans if you want to check it out. But if you're in that situation and you're doing a rebrand and your old website needs to point at a new website, you might want to check out Redirect.Pizza. I've used it this morning and it works.